Alright, what's up, people? Been a little while since I've come at you live here. Been pretty busy with work, so haven't had a lot of energy at the end of the day. And Wednesdays have kind of been the day that I've been trying to get stuff done around the house. So, apologize for dipping out on you this week. And did I stream last week? The days are blending together. It's hard for me to remember. Um, but here we are, back at it. And we're going to be playing New Standard, as the title of this stream suggests. So, for anyone who's not familiar, the deck we were playing a few weeks ago, that Jeskai Yorion Luca deck, well, that's no longer a thing. They banned Fires of Invention and Agent of Treachery from Standard, and also changed the way Companion works. So basically now, rather than being able to cast it directly from your sideboard, you need to pay 3 mana at sorcery speed to put the card in your hand. Which for Yorion decks, really not that big of a deal. I think Yorion's still going to be a force in this format. We'll see how things shake out, but that companion I think is the least affected. Cards like Luris and Obosh in the aggressive decks were really the ones that suffered the most from this rules change. Just because their plan is to curve out. They can't really take a turn to dump 3 mana into not doing anything, right? That's a super late game strategy for them. But anyway, we are not going to play any of that stuff today. We are going to play kind of my tried and true here. Played a lot of different Flash decks in this format, or this past few formats, as long as all these cards have been legal. So we're going to move forward with this tonight, see what the format's looking like, and maybe adjust as necessary, maybe change decks as necessary. See. Uh, Fairly stock list here for the most part, although I do play a tad bit more of the library manipulation, force, a full set of Opt 4, rather, and 3 Omen of the Sea, because I like having the deck velocity, be able to churn through, find what it is that you need to find, especially because a lot of these cards are time sensitive, like Quench, you really need to have early, things of that nature. Um, what else? Mystical Dispute, you really want to have that early against most of the decks in the format. And even like Sea Dash or Octopus, if you can get this going on turn 2 or even just turn 3 raw, not mutated onto a Sailor or something like that, that's really when it's going to be at its best. Trying to think of anything special about this particular list. I guess just the one copy of Chemist's Insight might seem a little bit odd, considering we're more of a tempo deck, not really a control deck, which this card would typically be found in. But I wanted to have something that allowed us to have a proactive play that didn't play to the board in a situation where we don't want to overextend into a Wrath of God or something like that. So this is a card that kind of fills that role because it keeps the gas flowing, gives us something to do, and it's the most high impact card for one slot in the deck because it has Jumpstart. We can cast it again from the graveyard. But other than that, fairly stock, what you would expect here. This card is exactly the kind of counterspell you want for this deck. Hard counter, domes them for 2. I've put a lot of opponents into basically a no-win situation where they have to deal with what's on the board and play around Ionize, and they can't do both. Basically, they have to make me have Ionize, and often I have it, and kill them. So it's been pretty cool. Real quick on the sideboard, I'm going to change views here since the camera is a little in the way. Fairly standard again. Played a couple Grafdigger's Cage, mainly for the cat oven nonsense. I don't want to have to grind through that crap forever, and this will keep that from being a problem, provided we find it on time. A pair of Aether Gusts, just in case we run across any mid-range green decks that are trying to do their thing. Also gives us some extra play against mono red, which should be somewhat popular at the moment while people are trying to figure out what's going on. There will be people who just want to kill their opponents. This will protect us from Embercleave and things of that nature. Alongside that, we have one Blitz of the Thunder Raptor and a pair of Scorching Dragonfire. just a couple more removal spells to bring in. These in particular are pretty good against mono red because you can take out Anax and most of their creatures outside of Torbran and exile it, which is, in the case of Anax, particularly useful. This, I didn't want to have a third copy of Scorching Dragonfire because I want to have access to a card that can kill something that has higher than toughness, and we're not going to play like crap like Lava Coil. That's just not what this deck wants to do. Fourth Dispute and one more Neutralize, just a bit more counter magic for the mirror to go alongside 3 Shark Typhoons. This card, in my experience, has been more of a card that is a liability in the aggro matchups, and we're already kind of weak in that sense, so I don't want to have this main. But it's a great card to bring in the correct matchups. So we're going to use that basically just against control decks or other decks that are packing a lot of counter spells to try and fight ours. Any creature decks, we're likely not going to want this card, but outside of that, this should be pretty good. And lastly, Flame Sweep that goes alongside with our red removal. Well, just make sure we keep the board clear. And we've got sideboard plans for all that so that we don't get destroyed by our own Flame Sweeps and stuff of that nature. Namely, we're going to take out Sea Dash or Octopus in those matchups. Anyway, I've already talked enough. Let's go ahead and get things going here and see what the hell is going on in Standard now that there have been some bans. Hope everybody's had a good week and is on the precipice of having a good weekend as well. And for the record, because I didn't state it earlier, the ladder did reset. So we are in a new season, a few days old at this point. So we're going to have to grind our way back up. This deck really wants to be on the play most of the time, as most decks that have small creatures tend to. But it's not the worst to be on the draw. Especially when we've got a couple of library manipulation spells, a removal spell, a few counter spells. We're pretty covered against most of what our opponent might do. Shadow Spear, okay. This is looking like it might be some sort of Knights deck. I say that mainly because of this card, but I've also seen Shadow Spear kind of creeping up a little bit in some of those lists. I've seen it in mono red too, but I think that's more of a sideboard thing. Leading on Fabled Passage here, so we're going to have 2 mana untapped on turn 2. We don't draw something else. I think right here I'm still going to go ahead and shock the Steam Vents. If you play something that I want to shock with the Bone Crusher Giant, or more accurately Stomp, that I don't care about actually. I think we're just going to let that go. So now, if he like spends his turn to Shadow Spear, equip, and all this kind of stuff, we can just tempo him out, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. There's no reason to let him play a land and like a pump spell, like a Salmon Sprint or something like that, and just get us. So we're gonna let that go, and now. I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to play this Bone Crusher Giant because we have the initiative. So, unless he plays something crazy, I'm going to Brineborn, opt, and try to get a threat down, and then we can go from there. Rotting Regisaur is not a card I want him to have, so what do we want to do? I think we just want to burn and Ionize here, because if we draw a land next turn, then we can have Cutthroat plus Quench, and we want to be as mana efficient as possible. Plus, I'm trying to save this opt for Brineborn. This might seem counterintuitive to keep shocking ourselves against an aggressive deck, but as long as we're maintaining control of the board, it doesn't really matter what our life total is. So we're going to do that again, so we can set up Brineborn plus Quench. This card's kind of a pain in the ass. But we have this Bone Crusher Giant to potentially combat. Still, this is pretty annoying. think I just have to let it go, though. We might be able to make him pick it up with a Brazen Borrower or something a little bit later. Stormfist Crusader. That I'm going to go ahead, because we're not going to be able to convert this Quench for much longer, I'm going to go ahead and Brineborn plus Quench. If he has a shock or something to kill Brineborn, then he has a shock. Whatever. This is the kind of deck that I'm not excited to play about in Game 1, but I think we can clean it up in Game 2 pretty well. Perfect. If we can draw Bone Crusher Giant this turn and get this Knight of the Ebon Legion off the table, that would be perfect. Okay, well there's Brazen Borrower. That was one of the cards I talked about. So I think what he's probably going to try to do next turn is equip Shadow Spear, pump his Knight of the Ebon Legion, and just like smack us as hard as he can. And I'm going to force the issue because I'm going to clock him and make him feel like he wants to race. Fortunately, that thing does not have Death Touch unless he activates its ability. But I think we're in good shape here. We've got a decent amount of defenses. Sure. Opponent's just having a bit of fun, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. If he doesn't pump here, I'm not doing anything.
Okay, let's start this neoclassical
And even then, I might not do anything. Because I don't want to bounce this and then just like have him replay it, but... because I'd kind of like to be able to counter it in that situation, so... let's just let him hit us. It's only... well, it's 5 damage. Oh, here we go. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That'll make the Rimrock Knight go to the bin. He doesn't get a card out of it. Or rather, he doesn't... we're going to go ahead and keep that. He doesn't get to have the ability to play the Rimrock Knight at a later point. So drawing Brazen Borrower here is perfect. Again, just shocking, because there's no reason not to. Hey, thanks, Freeman. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's fine. Also fine. So let's see if we play Brazen Borrower, Ionize. Let's see. That'll put him to 7, 9. We're going to be a point short. That's okay. We can kill him next turn. That's fine, man. Have fun. Good luck with your matches. Appreciate you stopping in for a second. Alright, cool. Okay, so we managed to squeak that one out. So I don't think I want Octopus here. Opens us up to being 2 for 1 a little bit too much. So let's bring in all the spot removal. And let's get these disputes out of here. I think that's not exactly where we want to be. What else do we want? I guess we just bring in Flame Sweep. If he goes wide, like if he has the Knight that makes a Knight every time he casts a Knight, then we're going to want to have a way to clean that up. So this is just our standard anti-aggressive creature package. And I suppose we can... we cut down on 1. Spectral Sailor and bring in a couple Shark Typhoons, just as some threats that can go over the top, literally, of the battlefield, fly and kill him if it ends up getting clogged. I don't mind keeping Quench because it's cheap enough to fight over some of his stuff, and Ionize gives us a way to punch through the last few points of damage and also set up turns like what we did where we bounce a thing with Brazen Borrower and Ionize it later, regardless of their mana situation. So I'm going to try this. We're cutting Spectral Sailor because it doesn't block for shit, and not going to have time to activate its ability all that much. But I don't think I want any of these cards over the one copy, because there might be some clutch situation where we want to drop a guy in block at instant speed. And unfortunately, this guy doesn't block ground creatures. So let's give this a shot, see what happens. This hand isn't great, but we have mana, we have a counter spell, we have a way to keep something off the battlefield, and some library manipulation and temple and opt. So, and we're on the draw, so we'll see what happens. Oh. Okay, that's a good draw. As is that, we're gonna keep that. Hopefully this Knight of the Ebon Legion... Oh. Alright, well, that is. We're just gonna go ahead and do this now. I think if this guy bricks on his land again, that's probably just it. Whether or not he concedes. Alright, well he did not. It's good for him. But he has no play. Let's see, so he's a turn behind. He might Rotting Regisaur. Which I would kind of want to counter. We could play Bone Crusher. Let him play the Rotting Regisaur. And then take our lumps, bounce it with the Brazen Borrower, and then counter it on the way down. I think I kind of want to take that chance because he bricked on land last turn. So yeah, let's be adventurous here. I think Brazen Borrower has more value if we can get both halves out of it. So I don't want to just cast it as a 3/1 flyer. Alright, perfect. I think I'm going to shock. We're going to sit here for one turn and then react to what he does. If he plays a 3-mana thing, then we'll, you know, Ionize it or whatever as necessary. Alright, so there's tapped third land. And now this gives us the ability to Bone Crush this thing, or Ionize plus Opt, as the case may be. Alright, he's not going to do anything. He also might take this opportunity to sneak in another Black Lance Paragon. Alright, so he's got a bunch of protection nonsense. I think I'm just going to burn this. I just don't want him to have creatures. It sucks that we have to give away our Bone Crusher Giant, and maybe for that reason we should have led on the Scorching Dragonfire, but that's alright. Not the end of the world. And this is a freaking greedy card to have in his deck. This, like, only one source can cast it. He can't cast it off tournament grounds. I actually don't care about that because we're gonna get... I think we're gonna get better cards than he will. Let's... And now we can always make him pick it up, too. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, well, let's see what Opt shows us. With the C. I guess we'll keep that. I think I'm gonna try and set up the blowout double block. I think, yeah, we'll let him have it. Wow, just all the Brazen Borrowers. Sure, whatever. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. I sort of doubt he's going to block. He knows I have removal. Alright, so now we're going to get some cards, which is good for us. I don't care about the damage. Worthy Knight, that's the guy I don't want him to have. Because that guy goes wide, and right now we don't want to deal with wide. Sure. Cool, so here we're going to bounce this idiot. Take 4. Smack him for 4. And then he's going to die to the triggers on his upkeep. Alright, easy enough. Okay, so that's not a deck that like a style of deck that I would like to play very frequently, but managed to get that one. Helped in part by the fact that he bricked on his second land for a turn. That let us get in an advantageous position with that Bone Crusher Giant. Plus we drew 3 removal spells and a bunch of bounce effects, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, like I was talking about with Ionize, it's nice to have a card that can be a counterspell when Quench and other cards of that style go dead, even against a deck like that. Like if that Worthy Knight had resolved and started cranking out other creatures, we might have been in trouble. This hand's pretty great. I'm not going to turn 1 Opt because we don't really know what we need. So we're just going to play Steam Vents past turn. Alright, so some sort of mirror match. Or not mirror match, but blue-based control deck. We'll just leave Quench and Opt up. Bone Crusher is likely to not be that great, but we'll find out, I suppose. Okay, Sultai. Okay, so just some dude. Some dude that will eat it to Bone Crusher Giant. And here, even though we have a couple counter spells, I guess, well, let's see. I was kind of thinking about just slamming this Bone Crusher Giant. And I guess we can set that up and then next turn have like Brineborn plus Opt, or if we draw Untap Land, Brineborn plus Quench. He doesn't have anything going on. If he's playing Mutate cards, he probably needs to establish some sort of like little thing before he can do anything too damaging. Okay, and he plays a tap land, which is awesome. That makes this line of play a lot less scary, or a lot more scary for him. And we drew an untap land, that's perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and lead on this. because I want to be able to make the double spell play on a counter spell, because this turn, it might be a pivotal turn to counter something. I've never seen this card in play before, so I don't know what our opponent could have. It's Conjurant. Some big guy. Nah. Just focus on getting him dead. Yeah, I don't see any reason to play the mountain there. He's probably going to die on this turn, would be my guess. He's already got 7 in play. He's kind of in that Ionize lock like we talked about. He's Conjuring, huh? Well, I guess you got to play something. Seems like Stone Coil Serpent would be a better call most of the time. Hydroid Krasis. Alright, well, he's not dead. Let's see if we could snipe a different counter spell and save this Ionize. Let's see, so he goes 10. Oh no, he is dead. We have 9 plus the 2, and he's going to gain 1. Alright, no. Easy game. Alright, so... no idea what the hell is going on here. Spectral Sailor doesn't seem necessary. Maybe just bring in a couple Sputes, or a couple Ether Gusts. Maybe like that, just a couple more removal spells to keep his enablers off the table, and then have, like, these cards can still buy some time against his other mutate stuff, most likely. Brazen Bar is always awesome against mutate decks. Make him pick up the whole stack. And I don't think we need this, we're just going to be trying to kill him. He's probably got some top-end stuff that we can't beat if he ever gets there, so want to keep our aggression going. We're not going to side out anything that attacks is worth a damn, and this card does not. So let's give that a shot. Yeah, I guess this is okay. On the draw, like I said, Borrower's really good in mutate, or against mutate strategies. This gives us the thing to cast if we get the opportunity and has a clear board. Start accruing some card advantage that way. And then, of course, just a hard counter spell. Plenty of land to cast everything. This deck only needs 1 red source to really be able to do its thing, unless we're trying to, like, stomp and cast Bone Crusher on the same turn, but that frequently is not the case. Stone Coil Serpent, alright, you got it. Opt is fine, that'll help us get something going here. Fortunately, I don't have any multicolored cards to target that thing with, so it is likely going to die. Or at least be picked up by a Brazen Borrower at some point. I assume that's probably a main deck card. I don't think that's something you would have in a sideboard. He gives him something that doesn't get like picked up by Teferi bounce. Yeah, we're gonna let him have that. Namely because he doesn't get any benefit from it, and we're just going to make him pick up the whole stack. Alright, so we might just be setting up for Brazen Borrower and then mutate Sea Dasher Octopus on it at some point. Ground might be getting clogged up here. Do I even care about that? Like, oh, it has reach? Yeah, I definitely care about that. Yeah, keep forgetting about that. Hey, just get out of here. Alright, sweet. So now we can Brineborn with Sea Dasher if he doesn't do anything. I think we can get above this Gem Razor in terms of size, or too long. Hydroid for 1 is perfectly acceptable. Alright, so let's do this. Put the Octopus on here. We're gonna put it over because we get a slight boost to the toughness. And then we're going to smash. Unsurprisingly, our opponent does not block. Get a Crad, and now we're just going to keep the pressure up. We're going to EOT Brazen Borrower plus Opt. If he plays Gem Razor on this Hydroid Krasis and just makes it a 4-4, we're just going to outsize it. And he's going to have to double block if he really wants to do that. Well, I guess it's not double blocking. You could play the Gem Razor Raw and double block. Just like gonna let this go. Okay. I am unsure what our opponent is doing. He says go. Holding a counter spell? Like, why did he shock there? Question mark? He's obviously got priority. He's got something. Do you have, like, E2 Extinction, maybe? Ah, okay. I wish I had a Mystical Dispute right now. Alright, so he's gonna make us pick up our pile, which is fine. So in that case, I think I'm actually going to save this Opt for the turn where we have Brineborn back in play. I think. Yeah. This time we'll do it under because we want to keep our damage output up. It's pretty good. Cool, so now we can set up another Brineborn plus Sea Dasher, or just play Sea Dasher raw with an Opt. Probably not that. Wow, he wants to attack, huh? That is a ballsy call. Alright, so he's just going to try and bounce the team here, I guess. Oh no, he's just going to play a guy. Okay. Alright, so let us Brineborn and Sea Dasher Octopus. This thing has reach, so we gotta be mindful of that. And I think I'm actually okay Trading one of these, well, do I want to trade? If he has like another pouncing shore shark, that's going to be kind of a problem. If I could find another brazen borrower, that would be awesome. Or an ether gust would be even better. No, not even better. What to do? I could trade one of my creatures plus Scorching Dragonfire for Gem Razor, be up a card. But I could also wait and try to just grow this Sea Dasher on the ground, but I don't think I want to do that. That's going to take so long, and if he just leaves his creatures back to block, then we're going to wish we hadn't done that. At least this way we get some damage in, we get another card. Ionize is reasonable here. What's our plan? We're gonna want to leave 6 up. We have 6 available. Play this. Gotta do this now, unfortunately. But at least now we can opt and ionize and get our Sea Dasher up to a 5/5. If you ever attacks with this pouncing shore shark, I believe he is just dead. If this goes to a game 3, I'm definitely bringing in the disputes, and I'm going to take out. Not sure. Take out something. Not sure what opponent is up to. He's playing a Gem Razor. I think I'm going to try doing the same thing I did last time, which is just try to find a thing. And that is great news because that means we win the game. We've got our opponent dead on board if he doesn't block, and unbeknownst to him, we have Brazen Borrower. So unless he has... Well, even if he has, like, Island plus Physical Dispute, we can just play right through it. Okay, we did not misclick, so we win. Cool. Alright, so out of silver, back into gold. That was an interesting match. Simic mutate with black for something that I don't recall seeing anything. Let's get our packs open because why not? Opening packs is fun. Sweet, a Zerta that we're not going to use. Alright, well, let's keep going here. Can I, like, make this the default somehow? Whatever. Another Garrick avatar, huh? Yeah, seems alright. We'll lead with Fabled Passage to get Mountain. Match. Not click on Island, please. Thank you. It might be a mirror match of sorts. In which case our hand is actually not bad. It could be Reclamation as well, in which case our hand is medium. It looks like it's either Reclamation or the Civic version of our deck. We're gonna find out right now. Sweet. Yes. It could be Reclamation, could be Bant. I'm gonna guess Reclamation. Bant doesn't tend to play Opt. Yeah, this is definitely Reclamation. I'm gonna go ahead and play Sea Dasher Raw here. I don't want him to go like Island and have Mystical Dispute up. And he's gonna lose his Uro, doesn't matter. There's nothing he can do on 1 mana with a resolved board state, and there's a confirmation that this is Reclamation. So we just want to make sure we don't get destroyed by main deck Mystical Dispute or something like that. Which he had access to. He really wanted it. Alright, well, this Bone Crusher Giant isn't exactly what we're looking for. I don't think most of these decks are playing Storm's Wrath at this point, which is good for us. Really hope they're not. They could be playing Flame Sweep. I guess we should be cognizant of that. I'm gonna crack this for Island, I think. And now I'm gonna do... I think I'm gonna play Bone Crusher, or Stomp, rather. Try and entice him to cast something if he's going to do it now. He could have Explosion. Well, he can't cast Explosion. Just cast this, whatever. This has the highest upside over Ops, and I will keep... So I'm actually going to keep both of these. Keep Mystical Dispute, obviously. Opt is fine just because it acts as a way to buff our Brine boards if we really need to. You could have Shark Typhoon here. Yep. Let's see, so... I could try to find Brazen Borrower to bounce this token. But I think there's enough upside to try and do that. Alright, well, I'm not going to expend the other Opt and leave our defenses down. If he wants to block the Brineborn, that's fine. We're going to get a card up out of the Sea Dasher Octopus. That's also fine. Same idea here as our first match. I'm going to shock because I don't care about the life total. He can't attack us with this Shark token. And I'm fairly certain that he knows he's dead if he does that. Wow, surprised he didn't go for, I guess he probably... No, he didn't go for another red. That's interesting. Is he going to try and Uro here? That's kind of what it looks like. I'm wondering if he's hesitating because I looked at his graveyard and he's thinking I might have that under control. Yeah, if you want some Chemist's Insight, I don't care about that. Let's go ahead and opt here. We're going to keep that because, again, that's a way we can get our Brineborn Cutthroat out of range of this. Well, not that we really need to. Yeah, it's fine. Not going to tap out right now. There's no reason to. So we'll get the Shark token off the table. And let's see, so if he plays Wilderness Reclamation, 4, he can pay for 1 Dispute. If he goes for Uro, he can pay for 1 Dispute, and I don't want him to have Uro in place. We're gonna hold up both Disputes. And he might not know what we have. He could be playing around counter spells other than Mystical Dispute. Or on top of Mystical Dispute, bounce spells, flash creatures. I mean, our opponent obviously doesn't know the contents of our hands. And that's part of what makes these flash decks so awesome, is they kind of just have to do their thing. They can't really afford to try and play around everything. So basically he needs to decide now, is this what I want to do this turn? And 1 red mana is not going to save him. Cool. Alright, so in this matchup, I don't want Bone Crusher Giant. I do want all the counter spells. I want the Shark Typhoons. And I think I'm going to ditch... Might just be this Chemist's Insight. We're going to be flush with stuff to use our mana on. And outside of him having access to like Storm's Wrath, which again, I don't think most people are playing. Certainly is, you know, day 1 of a new format. People could be on anything. Just don't think I want to worry about that. This is something I don't think we want. We want to be able to pressure basically every turn of the game or punish him for tapping out. Playing this it means 1 of 2 things. Either we're so far ahead that it doesn't matter, it could be anything else in our deck, or we're in trouble. And I don't think that's where we're going to be for the most part. Could argue for Spectral Sailor coming out, but I think our strongest starts on the draw are going to be Sailor into Octopus, and then sit on counter spells. Because he's likely... It's likely the only thing he's going to have to interact with that are going to be like Brazen Borrowers and Shark tokens, maybe. Yeah, let's just see what happens. We're geared to be a little more aggressive, and I think that's where we want to be in this matchup. Alright, it's not perfect, but pretty close. I think what we're going to do, we're going to leave up Mystical Dispute. And if he tries to Growth Spiral, we're just going to snap it off on Growth Spiral. Just really try to slow him down. So our hand is not going to be good at racing. Or not even racing, just establishing a clock. Okay, so that means we are not casting Opt here. Alright, he did not have Growth Spiral, that's okay. Basically shocked for no reason. Similarly, if he goes for Uro here, okay, then we would Mystical Dispute that as well. We're gonna do this now. See what he wants to do. Nothing. No reason to take damage when we don't need to. I don't think we're in any rush to like get the Shark Typhoon in play or whatever. See up to Uro. This time, I think I'm just gonna let it go. It's 2 mana. So let's do this. I don't want to play into Mystical Dispute, which he could just very well be bluffing. But I don't want him to be able to convert that right now, especially because next turn I can set up for Sea Dasher plus Mystical Dispute. So he might have like Brazen Borrower here, which is like the one thing that really destroys us. But he doesn't, he's just gonna let us go. Second Mystical Dispute is pretty freaking insane. So I think what I want to do is I'm gonna shock, go to combat, get in there, and we are going to attempt to mutate here. If he wants to get in a big Mystical Dispute battle over this, then I guess that's what we're doing. Then I have to worry about, I guess, Fire Prophecy. Alright, well, whatever. Okay, so at least the rules of mutate kind of save us there, which is nice. He probably should have just let it resolve and then Fire Prophecy. He's probably realizing that now. Learning experience, I'm sure. Because as it was, he just killed a token with it. I'm sure he would have rather killed the Sea Dasher Octopus. Are we going to see the Shame Concede? No, we're not. Alright, so I imagine, is this Uro with Mystical Dispute backup? Because that's not going to work out great for him. Or is he going to go for a Wreck? Okay, so he's going to go for Reclamation here. That's alright. He's going to try and fire off either a big Shark Typhoon or an Explosion or something. Okay. But that's a great draw, because now we can battle a Shark token if we need to. Let's just get in there. Flame Sweep, huh? Because we have double dispute, I'm actually okay countering this. Because I want to keep our ability to keep a clock on him going. We're gonna get card advantage out of this. And we have a way to make him pick up either his Uro or, you know, whatever else it is that he might play. Alright, so now we have to do this. See what happens here. Okay, so he's just making sure to play around Mystical Dispute of his own. He's gonna get Uro, that's alright. We have this Brazen Borrower, that's gonna save our ass. See what happens. Pay for it. Sweet. So if we don't keep Mystical Dispute up, he can just like nuke us with an expansion explosion, so we kind of have to continue to do that. These counter spells are not great against this deck. You really need to be drawing these early, like drawing Quench on turn 6 or whatever the hell we're on right now is not great. Okay, at least he doesn't have like shit going on though. Yeah, he's like literally on empty. Nice. Since we have a backup temple, I'll use this one. That's a great draw. Alright, so now we've got Mystical Quench, Ionize, or Brazen Borrower, Ionize, Mystical Dispute. We've got a lot of stuff open to us. We could even just Brazen Borrower with Ionize. Not going to get greedy here. There's no reason to put us in a position where we are going to just lose to like a shark token or something. We'll take the opportunity here. This thing is what's going to carry us. And good enough. Alright, let's get a gold tier 4. Cool. That's not bad. I already have these, but this card's great, and getting a Rankle is not bad. I like that card. Little upgrade on the Mastery tree here. I'm just working towards Ruinous Ultimatum. Like, the rest of this crap I don't really care about. I mean, Gem Razor would be pretty cool to have, but nothing else on there is whatever. I mean, like, all these cards we have better versions of with the Godzilla cards anyway, so there's no real motivation for me to try and get all the way to, like, you know, Snapdax, Nethroi, and Brokos over here. Oh, we have another one. Sweet. Alright, so we'll get that Ruinous Ultimatum soon. Don't have anything there. Okay, so we've done 3 matches with Izzet Flash. Thumbs up, won all 3 of them. Really enjoy that deck. I don't want that to be the only thing we play tonight, so I'm going to make a switch here. Don't know exactly what that's going to entail. I think I kind of want to try this deck out, because now that we can't play Lurrus efficiently as a companion, we just have a couple in the main deck. And that means we get to play like Mayhem Devil. This card is absurd in this style of deck. Sideboard's a little bit different, again, because we have the cap opened up on 3+ permanents. We're going to play a Chandra here. I kind of waffled back and forth on Robber the Rich versus Chandra, and I wanted to have something that was a little stickier against control decks. This just eats it to all the removal spells that the rest of the deck does, and this card's really good with Priest of the Forgotten Gods, or just as a threat that they can't, you know, sweep away. So that's why we have that in there. So it's either going to be that, or could try playing PV's list. This is pretty outdated. This is really geared for the metagame about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But it looks like fun. I mean, it's got a lot of what we've been playing. Even tonight, you know, Brazen Borrower, Omen of the Sea, Counterspell, Shark Typhoon, that kind of stuff. It has the ability to switch into more of a flash deck, which is pretty cool. So we can take the aggressive role in a matchup if we really want to. but it's got other control elements, obviously, Elspeth Conqueror's Death, Shatter, Sky, Teferi, Time Raveler, Narset, things of that nature. So this is pretty interesting as well. Of course, we have a couple other different flash decks. We've got a straight-up blue-white control deck here with Yorion. So I'm going to take a quick break, nothing too long, maybe 2-3 minutes at most. I'm going to get another drink or two lined up, and we will continue momentarily. Thanks for sticking with me. I will see you guys in just a moment.
Alright, we are back. Thanks for hanging there for a little bit. I think what I want to do while we
explore this format more is we're going to play this Sacrifice deck a little bit, see how that goes. Games will be pretty fast one way or the other, and this will give us the ability to just beat up on people who are messing around. Untested runes, which admittedly this is to a degree. Looks good to me. Don't have a 1-drop, but that's alright. I think our 2-drops are even better. And I am real glad we switched decks because I do not want to fight against this crap. Start there. I think what we are going to do is lead on... If he attacks here and has no follow-up play, we'll lead on Dreadhorde Butcher. If he does sit back... Alright, so he's got that. It's kind of a pain. He took a Luris? Yikes. Alright, well, let's just butcher him. Alright, so this is like a mirror match, basically, but he has Robber's main, whereas I do not. Let's see, okay, he's got Witch's Oven, that's unfortunate. And he took a Cauldron Familiar. This, this match is going to be kill Robber of the Rich immediately. Hopefully he doesn't have a Claim the Firstborn here to take our Dreadhorde Butcher. Alright, he's got Croxa, that's pretty good. I am going to discard... Frankly, I don't think this Croxa is going to have time to matter. I think we're going to have to lay other cards in our hand. It does mean that his Witch's Oven's tapped, which is nice. Not draw a Sacrifice outlet. We have our Priest of the Forgotten Gods in hand. So, let's see, what do we do here? We can claim, attack, and see if we get a card. That seems like a pretty poor use of claim. That's just like a cycle on Claim the Firstborn, and then if we can't cast the card, we don't actually get to use it. Because we not have another rogue we can play. I think I'm just going to play... I'm going to attack here. Then I'm going to... If I play Priest of the Forgotten Gods Temple with Malice here... No, I want to play Mayhem Devil. I want to try and Brick Road this Robber of the Rich. If he doesn't have anything in his hand, then we might be able to get away with this. Alright, so he put Luris into his hand. Okay. I think we just crash here, honestly. Yeah, fuck it. Alright, I'm fine with that. not want that. I think I want to try and get this Croxa online as fast as possible. And Priest of the Forgotten Gods is not going to help us do that. Oh, perfect. Now if he tries to steal Dreadhorde Butcher, we can just toss it in his face. The Catmere is going to be tedious. Sacrifice, yeah. Yeah, you can have that. Resolve, we'll get this out of here. We're just gonna cast that. We're gonna steal his Lurrus. So, steal Lurrus, play Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and then have Croxa left over, and sacrifice Lurrus to the Witch's Oven. Sweet. Interesting turn of events. He got a little greedy sacrificing his Croxa to the Witch's Oven, but he's gonna try to go for it? Yeah. Well, actually he can't. Unless he wants to eat his cat as well. Sick. I don't really want to play my Croxa right now because I don't want to give him the ability to play his own next turn. So we're just gonna smash. Mayhem Devil. Yep. Name the Firstborn. I do not believe I would like you to have that card. So then you just sacrifice it to your own. Alright, so he's gonna go for Croxa here, is that the deal? Yep. Story, bro. Alright, so I think we can do this. Let's see, so if I play Scorpion here, if I activate Priest of the Forgotten Gods, he's going to bring Cat back. And then if I shoot Cat, he brings it back. I sacrifice Dreadhorde Butcher to kill it. And we get his Kroxa, and I can play my own Kroxa. Okay, I think we can do this. And then he doesn't have a way to get Kroxa back into play. Alright. I think he may have seen the writing on the wall. I'm not sure. Alright, so what do we do? Robber the Rich probably has to die. Here's where my inexperience playing this style of deck comes pass. Do I want Soul Guide Lantern? That seems like kind of a crappy card in this matchup. Especially because I don't have guaranteed access to Luris anymore. Maybe I want like Lantern plus Myers Grasp or something. This card seems like kind of weak in this matchup. Again, I'm not loving Serrated Scorpion. It was a good draw that turn, but I mean, frankly, Cauldron Familiar would have been just as fine draw. So maybe we need to go just a hair up on the power level. So let's get rid of this. And let's bring in... Problem is, I don't know if I want to be able to kill this guy or not. It was kind of a problem. Not really, he didn't actually get any. This thing kills, if he has it, Mayhem Devil, Dreadhorde Butcher. Does not kill Kroxa, kills Chandra. Oh, how much I want to worry about the graveyard stuff. Maybe I trim like one Priest, one Kroxa, go 2 and 2, something like that, just so I kind of have all my bases covered. Yeah, let's try that. See what happens. It's okay if we can manage to get a turn where we have Priest and claim the Firstborn. We also have a removal spell for like Robber the Rich or something. It could be that this card is just not playable anymore. I'm certainly not opposed to being incorrect about that. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and just kill this stupid thing. I don't want him to get additional card advantage off on us. He does have Luris in his board. That's interesting. There we go. Alright, so that means he does not have Mayhem Devil, which is pretty good for us. Fortunately, we don't get to be mana efficient this turn. We're gonna have to play this Priest of the Forgotten Gods and call it good. Okay, Cat is sufficiently annoying. Alright, passage isn't bad here, because that's going to let us Mayhem Devil, and then we can search for a mountain to claim the Firstborn. Let's see, so we're going to take that thing and likely sacrifice it, so we probably just need to go upstairs. I don't even mind sacrificing the Mayhem Devil here, because I have to get this stupid Knight of the Ebon Legion off the table. It sucks that I'm not going to be able to actually cast anything with it, most likely, with the mana off of Priest of Forgotten Gods. Let's do this. Yeah, sucks, but whatever. And this could totally be wrong. Again, I'm not totally confident. Because Mayhem Devil seems awesome, but not when there's a fucking Knight of the Ebon Legion hanging out on the other side. Alright. See what happens. Hoping these Red Horde Butchers can carry us a little bit. We do get to do double Dread Horde Butcher next turn. It's pretty sick. Alright, so he gets Luris in hand, Witch's Oven. Alright, he's just full on the Witch's Oven. So are we. We have our own Witch's Oven. Now, he can't actually let our Butcher die unless he just wants to, yeah, not have access to his cat, which is the thought I was trying to complete there. Here is the space button mash simulator. Try and do it in time with the double bass. Go ahead and lead with the Rixmati here. Ditch this stupid blood crypt. We're gonna need that anytime soon. Alright, so now we have our own Witch's Oven Cauldron Familiar. Which obviously can't compete with his. This does, I believe, keep us from dying this turn. I think that's all I want to send in. Actually, no, we could send that in, because if he blocks with Knight of Hidden Legion, we'll just eat it. That's fine. He's gonna get a food out of it, of course, but that's alright. Unfortunately, we can't double base on the spacebar here. We don't want to skip our second main phase. Hey, you get a food, yeah. Oh, he does not get a food. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this will give us one more turn. Which is not going to be enough, I don't think, but whatever. Maybe I was supposed to have Grafdigger's Cage for the mirror. The card just seems so good against these stupid cat decks. At least next turn we can, like, Cauldron Familiar, Rixmati Reveler, like, to draw 3. Trying to do here. That's what he wants to do. Do I even care about that? You can't cast Luris this turn? Yeah, I don't care. Just force him to do this. This whole song and dance. That was stupid. I probably actually should have just done that on my turn. But oh well. Guess it doesn't matter. Alright. So let's go ahead and do this now. Goodbye, Dreadhorde Butcher. Low. Medium cones. Alright, so let's see, he can deal 6 to me. Does this give me life? No. Whatever, I'm gonna eat some of his clock. I think we're probably behind in clock, 17 something. Yeah, we're behind a little bit, so I want to try and eat some of his clock if I can. Spacebar Simulator. Alright, so I need to do this now in order to get the most out of the clock eating thing that I'm trying to do. If I had the ability to sacrifice a food, this game would be slightly closer. And actually, I think I can, now that I think about it. Because I can sacrifice these guys and pay for the... Oh wait, no, I don't have food. I do it. Alright. Yeah, we'll just move on. It's fine. Okay, so what do we do? So he does not have this guy, Mayhem Devil. Alright, so... this can't be the right card for this matchup. This is more like for Uro. Maybe since I'm on the play... yeah, since I'm on the play, let's get these robbers in here. And I guess... get these out of here too. We'll bring in some Scorpions. Let's just try to beat his ass. And not worry about trying to get all fancy with Soul Guide Lantern. An aggressive draw. This is not the exact draw I'm looking for, but I guess we'll take it. It does give us turn 2 Butcher, is fine. Taking a swamp here, so we're gonna have Castle come into play on tap. Very good. So our Butcher's gonna be at least a 2 power. Nice. And the next turn we can Cat and Priest, or Cat and Croxo, something like that. Probably Cat Croxo. No. Cat Priest. Oh, he wants to do that, huh? Alright, so then I think what we're going to do here is we're going to play Priest and Cat, and then next turn we can claim. Is that right? Yeah, that's fine. We take a turn off from Dreadhorde Butcher just to make sure that we get set up to actually kill this stupid Robber of the Rich. If we draw a mountain, then we can, well, yeah, we can claim his Robber of the Rich, and then Rakdos sacrificing it. Okay, so we did not, but that's okay. But what I think I'm going to do is, I'm not real worried about him being able to, well, maybe I should be. Man, I wish these were some dual lands so that we could claim, like, sacrifice all this crap and then... Alright, well, we're gonna have to do this anyway, so let's just do it. But attack with the Dreadhorde Butcher here? Yeah, I think I do, because I can just clear his board if he doesn't attack appropriately. Or block appropriately, rather. And I think do I still want to do this? I guess I can do that and then draw a card. That's not the worst. Let's do that. Perfect. Alright. So now we can do the Rakdos claim play. And hopefully we can do that back-to-back turns as well. So hopefully he has some big play here, or big play, and does not also have Witch's Oven. That would be preferable. Okay. Okay. Alright. So he's doing the play that we wanted to do, but that's alright. What's he gonna do? Sacrifice? Okay. I thought he might sacrifice Priest, but I guess it has to be two other creatures. So we lose our Dreadhorde Butcher, but not the end of the world. Want our Priest back, so. Alright, so now we claim Knight of the Ebon Legion, Rakdos. Claim this, so we're going to put full control on Rakdos. Pay the mana, that ability on the stack. Sacrifice both of those. Claim out of there, cool. And then I know our life total is pretty low. I'm not real worried about their own Rakdos. So we can just play ours and we can like ditch something off of it. Well, so what happens if we do that? So they play Rakdos next turn. Let's just assume that that's what's happening. Play our own Rakdos to check it. I think it's fine. Alright, so it's got to be Crocs this turn, right? There's like no reason not to. So we can double Dreadhorde Butcher, make him sacrifice Croxa, so we're going to get rid of this Claim the Firstborn. Oh, I just realized I forgot to update Stream Decker. Hopefully you guys don't care about that right now. Alright, and I don't want to bring back the Croxa to sacrifice, because then I won't be able to do so the following turn. And he does not have enough creatures to do it again, so... Or, cards in bin, I guess. Lurrus is a draw. I think I'm going to hold this Blood Crypt in case he like rips a Croxa off the top, because I'm going to want to cast this Lurrus. And we can cast basically anything out of our bin with it. Get like Cat back and then Croxa or something like that. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to get the Dreadhorde Butcher back, so we want to get that up into the spot where we can actually kill a Lurrus by sacrificing. And same thing, I'm going to hold this Blood Crypt because I'm going to want to cast Mayhem Devil next turn. That's fine. Alright, so now I want to clear this Lurrus out of the way before I attack with mine, because I definitely want to be able to get in there with the Lurrus. So we are going to play Cauldron Familiar from the bin and Mayhem Devil Swamp. So you can sack both of these, dome him, kill Lurrus, get in for damage. Let's do this. Let's play Cauldron Familiar. Gain a life. Sack these two. We're gonna go face. Get Lurrus out of here. The 2 mana Mayhem Devil, Witch's Oven, Swamp, get in with Lurrus. Alright. And then, yep, alright. Woo! Won the mirror. That was a hell of a turn. Whew. That was a freaking slog, man. Those damn cats. Okay, sorry guys, just getting things set up for tomorrow. Okay, so that was that. Interesting. I don't really want to play the mirror again, but deck seems like it's got some play. This card is sort of alright in this deck. I don't know. This card is great if you're in a winning position, but it's kind of like whatever if you're behind a little bit. Or I should say behind too much. If you're behind a little bit, this can get you back in it. But I think what I'm going to do is I want to play kind of a fast round here. What's in this Dimir list? It's got a lot of the same elements, obviously, as the other Flash list. But I think I'm going to do one more match with the Izzet list. One more match. Hopefully we can crush this one too. It's kind of medium, but whatever, we'll keep it. Clicking the mouse apparently is way harder than I usually do. Throw spiral? Yep. Wow. Original plays. Never would have seen that coming. Got Mystical Dispute. Well, I got a Mystical Dispute too, buddy. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Yeah, I don't care about that. If this were turn 3 and he had not played, you know, a land already, I would probably snap off the Mystical Dispute, but he did, so. Is he gonna Mystical Dispute this? Holy shit. Yeah, come on, please Mystical Dispute this. Oh, he's not. That honestly might not have been right. We might have wanted to play Omen of the Sea there. Is he gonna have a Stomp here? I don't think so. Alright, well, we're gonna brick on land. Oh, he has it now. That's fine. Cards he have in the middle. Including the Uro, so he needs 2 more cards before he can Uro safely. Because we're pinched on mana, I want to try and get a clock going, try and leverage the fact that we're behind. Alright, he feels like he needs to use an explosion on that. That's pretty good. I guess I should honestly do this because we need to find land like real bad. Alright, we'll keep both of them. And I want to do that in case it's like Temple of Epiphany was our only land, so we can get it into play on tap. This means we have to take a turn off, but he's cycling a land. That's pretty good for us. Alright, so he's gonna have Uro. That's not good for us. Yes, honestly, this game might be over unless we find Brazen Borrower very quickly. He even has Castle Vantress to represent Mystical Dispute. That is not what we're... That is not either. Alright, well, let's pass the turn here. This is a very difficult card to beat if it ever gets into play, and I think we just have to do this, or else we just lose to Explosion. Show me the Mystical Dispute, and I'll concede this game. Alright, I'm going to go to game 2. I am going to take a very brief break. I need to use the restroom. You saw me trying to cancel that game before it even started. So give me just a minute. Alright, sorry about that, guys. That kind of snuck up on me out of nowhere. Alright, so what do we do in this match? These are out. Don't know that I want this necessarily. This is in, this is in. Guess these are in, right? That's what we were saying. One sailor's alright, so we can mutate a Sea Dasher on it. Potentially. Alright, let's just try to draw some lands this game. How about that? That'll be the top thing to do this game, as opposed to last game. Alright, well, it's a thing, I guess. Just save the opt, of course. So, I'm going to get this Brineborn down now, because I don't want him to dispute it, and I think he's likely to have more disputes than he is spot removal spells. So I'm not worried about that. So you might have Mystical Dispute here, so there's no reason to try to go for Sea Dasher Octopus now. I really want to find a land. I don't need another Brazen Borrower at the moment. Is he going to have Flame Sweep here? I'm really smelling a Flame Sweep. I'm not going to risk it. I can take one more turn to make sure that we don't have that happen. It's fine. He's taking a lot of damage. He's taking 6 damage already? I guess I got that guy into plan. Blast Zone. Okay, well that makes me not want to play anything else to the board. Let's see, can we force him something other than Blast Zone? Play Brazen Borrower, diversify the threats, put 6 damage on him. See, in Flame Sweep, he'll most of what he's got. I think we need to get the clock up. Like 2 points is not going to be enough. This diversifies our threats around Blast Zone well enough, and if he has, I guess if he has Flame Sweep here, then he has Flame Sweep here. Already has Fry. Okay, that's even more deadly. Wow. opponent just has it all. Alright. So what are we doing now? Now we need to... probably get Sea Dasher down. Or could we Brineborn, leaving Ionize up? Like, force him to have a thing. He obviously didn't have Flame Sweep there. I think playing Brineborn here is fine. It's our, like, least valuable threat. And I want to try and, like, beat out all of the, like, cheap stuff that he has. If possible. Because this Blast Zone, that takes, like, full 2 turns worth of mana as a commitment. Note that he's played 2 Growth Spirals and we are on the same amount of mana as he is. That's fine. Alright, we're just gonna go for it. Because now he's 2 turns away from Blast Zoning it. He could have another Dispute here or something, but if he does, then he does. Oh yeah. He has a Quench? What? What the hell is this deck list that he's playing? This is an extremely odd Reclamation list. Alright, whatever. I was gonna say, note, he's played 2 Growth Spirals and he's not up any lands on us, so he's been bricking on lands pretty bad. Can't leave Uro and Growth Spiral up, or vice versa. Alright, what are you doing, opponent? Come on. Bro. Given his bid. 7. Can't even cast it yet. I'm gonna counter it here. He's been missing land drops, so... Alright, well now we can. That means we need to find another counter spell. Wow, he's gonna negate that. You want to Mystical Dispute this? Yes? Please tell me he's gonna Mystical Dispute this. Okay. Alright, perfect. Easy game. Alright, so he's doing that to play around Mystical Dispute. Hopefully he didn't sandbag a Mystical Dispute. Wow, are you kidding me? Either that or he drew it for the turn, I guess. Alright, Brazen Borrower. No, alright. I'm off it. That was kind of short. We'll go one more. wonder if we're supposed to bring in Graph Digger's Cage. That matchup kind of feels so dumb. Alright, whatever. Let's just play. Alright, so we are a 5-1 right now. 4-1. I think we're 4-1. I go first. I have 1 land plus opt and a dream. I guess all I really need to do is find 1 more land, but those are the famous last words. And we have a million turns. This is a Yorion deck. We have a lot of time. Sure, let's go ahead and keep this. We'll live on the wild side for a change. I do not condone keeping 1-landers, for the record. In case anyone's getting twisted about that. Alright, land? Yes. Sweet. I'm about to lose control. Right now, self-destructing. Time bombs to explode. So he's gonna have Growth Spiral here, most likely. I know this list, if this is the, this should be the ban control list. And it's certainly possible that he's going to have Brazen Borrower here. But if he doesn't, I mean, we don't have anything to punish him anyway. So if he doesn't, we just get a card here. And if not, we get Sea Dash or Octopus into play, so it's whatever. I would just like to hit land is all I'm looking for. Any land will do. That is perfect. Shock here because I want to opt. And the life is irrelevant to me. Yeah, this is definitely the control list. He's got Neutralize, he's got Teferi, that's fine. So he's going to bounce this thing, we'll Bone Crush it. And we'll just Bester. Yeah, it's fine. Hopefully he does not have like Island Mystical Dispute or something like that. Alright, so you're just gonna let it go. That's good. Great. No reason to get crazy here. Let's get Brineborn into play. And I don't think I need another red. I'm just going to grab Island. We're going to keep that, and now we're going to shove basically any other land. If he has Brineborn here, he has Brineborn here. It's whatever. I need. Alright, so we are going to play Island. We're going to leave Sea Dash or Octopus plus Ionize, or like Brazen Borrower, front and back halves, something like that. There's no reason for us to make any crazy plays at the moment. And I do want to be able to utilize 5 mana's worth of spells this turn. Which is why I didn't play Steam Vents. I think what I'm going to do is play Sea Dasher as a creature instead of a mutate. Because I don't want Teferi and all that shit to punish us. Alright, this turn we are eventually going to play Steam Vents. Alright, so Shark will resolve. We are going to get it out of here. Dovin's Veto. Okay, let's just do it again. Because I do not want to lose my Sea Dasher Octopus. I'm going to play that partially to bluff having like a negate or something like that. Alright. Opponent just didn't give a shit. I guess he had to go for it. Like, if he doesn't have anything else, he's gotta shatter there, or he's just dead. Wow, he's gonna counter that. I'm always perplexed by my opponent's penchants for countering, like, card drawing spells. Because they're usually so, like, you know, whatever. So here I am going to actually get this Bone Crusher into play. Because it looks a little bit suspicious that we haven't used it yet. And this will conceal any other counter spells in our hand a little bit. And if he allows us to use Ionize successfully, then he's just going to die on the attack. Hydroid Krasis, so he's going to gain 2. I'm going to counter that. It's not. We're not going to kill him next turn, but it's going to be, you know... We're going to put him back in Ionize range, essentially. If we could bounce our own things... Alright, so now he's in the Ionize lock, which I talked about at the beginning of this. Alright, he's gonna go for Guro here. Any Dovin's Vetoes? He used both Vetoes, so unless he's got some other Vetoes in his list, he's just dead here. Nice. Locked it up. Alright. So, Bone Crusher's out. Counterspell's in, and we're going to take one other card out. I think it has to be... I really like having this card. I mean, you only really want one Spectral Sailor. On the play, or on the... Yeah, on the draw, I might side it in for the Chemist's Insight. Because we're going to need to try to maximize our like potential as Sailor into Octopus, but I think this is fine here. This gives us everything at instant speed. Plus like an uncounterable threat with Shark Typhoon, if the game gets to that point. I guess we've got some library manipulation, and this lets us slow our opponent down quite a bit. So we'll try it. Alright, that helps. I'll keep that, I guess. The problem is going to be if he plays Growth Spiral here, I don't want to counter it. Alright, Omen of the Sea is fine. I don't care about that. Unlike him, I don't care about that. I do care about turn 3 Teferi though, so that's why I'm leaving Quench. Yeah, no thanks. That's pretty good here, because that's going to let us fight over potential Teferi this turn with Mystical Dispute back up. It's not going to do anything, which is good for us. just kind of like trying to buy time until we get to like play this big Shark Typhoon. It's kind of an awkward land. I don't think I want that right now. We'll save that. Okay. That's reasonable. We'll accept Sea Dash or Octopus. That I will not accept, however. We're going to quench here so that we have double Mystical Dispute up. And I'm going to shock here, kind of for the same reason. If he plays another Night Pack Ambusher, I want to be able to Mystical Dispute and leave double Mystical Dispute. Presumably, that's what he does. So that's 2 Night Pack Ambushers down. That's pretty good. He's going to be mad when he learns that we have another Mystical Dispute. Okay. So now we are going to... I think we're going to make a Shark Typhoon token this turn. Is that right? I think so. If he has one of his own, he's going to be able to make it bigger, but oh well. We have a replacement, so that works. And if he doesn't, he's no Shark Typhoon. Of course. Just do this now to like put the fear in him. Also, if he's holding his own Mystical Disputes, this invalidates them. So now he very likely, well, I guess now that he has an Narset, it's a different story. I was going to say now he doesn't want to attack so that we can't get extra cards, but Narset shuts that down. We're going to neutralize off of it. Alright, this is going to be a hard game. He decided not to attack. Okay. Alright, well, at least now we can make a 4/4 Shark. Yeah. He can make a larger one if he's holding a Shark Typhoon. You can also pay 3 for Yorion. It's Tamio. I think this game is probably untenable at this point. Well, you might not have found a Shark Typhoon, but I have one. Find a Brazen Borrower? That would be awesome. So what do we... I don't necessarily just want to throw this Sea Dash or Octopus away. Maybe if we just like Shark here, like, set up for the fact that we can, like, double Sea Dasher next turn. Yeah, it's alright. I don't care about that. Okay, now we're in reasonable shape here, because if he doesn't do anything, like, meaningful, like, honestly, he probably should just get back to Shartef and Stamio. To get back to Fairy. So unless he has another counter spell. Has to be like specifically Dovin's Veto or Mystical Dispute. Alright, so at least now he doesn't get to do anything this turn. Except put Yorion into his hand, I guess. And where were you a few turns ago, Izzet Borrower? You're a little late. I'm gonna do this just because it ties up his mana. Oh man. This game. I think we're losing this game. I don't think there's any way to get around that at this point. The problem is we have to take this turn to attack the Fairy, and then... Yeah, I'm just ready to move on. He's got Yorion, he's gonna flicker all this bullshit and get a million cards. Okay, so... Here's what we said we were gonna do. We're gonna do that. I think everything else is good. I just don't see any reason to decide any of this other stuff out. I mean, maybe we're like super counterspell heavy and we like ditch a counterspell for a Chemister's Insight or something like that, but we've got a lot of card drawing. We've got this to draw us cards if we ever get to that point, so let's see what happens. I think being on the play is a big difference. And this is exactly the hand we're looking for. This is like perfect. Not have been drawn up better. Again, we're doing this just to play around Mystical Dispute. Alright, so here, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Now, obviously, again, playing around Mystical Dispute. And we just have to hope that he doesn't have Glass Casket. If he does, we have Brazen Borrower, we can, get some stuff back, but go one turn without him having a way to interact with us, I think this game's over. Yeah, and it's looking real close already. Moment is perfectly fine. I might have countered a Growth Spiral if he went for it. In fact, I think I probably would have. I think I'm going to Quench here. Dispute like fights over all the stuff that matters anyway. This lets us be super mana efficient. Don't really want that, just want more counter spells. It's also acceptable. We just double down on Octopus. That seems like the wrong call. If yeah, Shatter the Sky, then we get wrecked. So we don't want to do that. What we will do, however, is set up for Brineborn plus Sea Dasher Octopus. So what's he gonna have? Shark? Alright, whatever. This way, he can't. Alright, so you can do that, that's fine. So we are going to make him pick that up. We're going to smack him for 1 billion points of damage. Hopefully draw an untapped land. Do this now before he can untap. Say go. It's a fairy. Honestly, don't think I care about that, so I am just going to play a Brazen Barber. Probably going to bounce this Octopus, which is fine. Yep. Let's do this first. I think if I see an Ionize on top, then I would send everything at him. Even though I guess we can't technically cast it at instant speed. But let's just do this. Let's get a card off Octopus and smack this to Fairy. Pretty sure is what I want to do this turn. So we can set up for lethal on the following turn. Spell. I'm going to discard. Probably not Brineborn. Let's just discard Temple. Because if he Wraths here, okay, which he's not going to do. What do I want to do? I want to double Brineborn plus Mystical Dispute. I think that just locks it. Yeah, okay, cool. Figured out the line. Cool. And we got out of goal 3 up to goal 2. Sick. Alright guys, so that was a brief look at the new format for tonight and moving forward. Got a lot of matches in with the Izzet Flash deck. Honestly, I've just really loved that deck ever since it was a thing, ever since the cards came together for it. I mean, really, Sea Dasher Octopus just takes over the top, in my opinion. But cards like, you know, Ionize have always been perfect for it. Bone Crusher Giant is great. Mystical Dispute obviously just does a lot of work. And you can really leverage the power of that card in this deck, because this tends to have a downward level of effectiveness the longer the game goes, and you can put him in the pinch by putting a clock on him and maintain the effectiveness of this card for a lot longer. So this card's awesome in the deck. It's awesome overall, but even more so here. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. I've got some other things I want to try and do before it gets too much later. So if you like what you saw here, give me a follow. Would really appreciate the support. If you know anybody else that might like this kind of content, send them my way. And if they want to follow me too, that'd be super awesome. I think we're going to try and go for the full double whammy stream tomorrow and Sunday. Do an earlier one, a later one. Maybe more Magic, maybe not. I always kind of don't know exactly what I want to do, more of just a spur of the moment. If you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me there. Twitter.com/Canman87Gaming. You can follow me on YouTube as well, or subscribe to me rather. YouTube.com/Canman87. I do my best to post whenever I'm coming live on my Twitter account, so that's the best one to follow. But I upload a lot of this content onto YouTube as well, so if you miss anything here, or you want to go back and watch some of these matches, that's going to be the place to go. But anyway, thanks again for joining me. Had a lot of fun tonight. I think this format seems a lot better because there's not a lot of fires running around, at least that I've seen so far. Well, obviously there's not going to be fires, the card's banned, but there's no fires running around. Yorion isn't all over the place. The Lurrus decks are a little more under control. But it seems like there's just going to be more breathing room, which is awesome. That's really all we were looking for in the format. I'm going to call it here. Thanks again one more time. Join me tomorrow. We'll play something. Try to keep it interesting. Until then, see you later.